it's Noctis. Subscribe to Vincent Valentine EX Turk channel.
Welcome to an episode of Trash Theories. Just kidding. It's just a joke. I rebound back to people who say my theories are trash. But anyways, hello guys, this is my Archbishop Chaos. This is your King of the Night, Vincent Valentine EX Turk, and I was trying to say that too fast. But anyways, we're going to get into another Final Fantasy fan theory, and this has been inspiring me ever since I played the Chapter 13. Ever since I played the Chapter 13, what is it called? The updated new part 2. It's inspired me, and the reason why it's inspired me is like we're going to get more in episode Prompto. If episode Gladiolus gave us a free Chapter 13 outlook, who's not to say that episode Prompto isn't going to talk about the next Niflheim Empire higher up, the scientists, Versteal or Versteal, I don't care what you call them. I'm going to call him Versteal in this one, but it don't matter. Versteal, it's hard to pronounce, okay? Just, yeah. But anyways, my fan theory here is Versteal is Ziggurat. The demon Ziggurat. First of all, we never seen. First of all, we never seen. First of all, we never seen another Theroy class demon. The reason why that is those aren't regular demons. Those are actually made of the Niflheim higher-ups. They're actually demons made by the Star Scourge who take human form. Now, I know this sounds crazy, and I know you're anxious to hit that dislike button just because how crazy that sounds, but if you just take a good listen to what I gotta say and stick around to this video's ending, I'm gonna walk you step by step. Now, why is Ziggurat level 55? As for Theroy, which we already know is Idolus, and it's actually official since we got the Chapter 13 update, is level 38. How come Theroy is level 38, but Ziggurat is level 55. And let me tell you why. Let me bring it down to you. This hunt is available at the end of the game, and the reason why it's available at the end of the game is because you have to at least be level 8 or higher, or 7 or higher. I forgot what it was, 7 or 8 or higher to actually complete that hunt. And usually people complete the game before they even reach level 5. Now, why is this significant? You say this is to keep the game value. This is how to keep the game value, make it playable after you run out of DLC ideas. Like Square Enix played this in an event. Now, we don't see Versteal except for that one scene in the Niflheim Empire. And I think the reason why that is they're saving for episode Prompto. Now, if the episode Prompto has debunked my theory, then I apologize. This theory is no longer valid. This is no longer canon. This is no longer anything. Do not pay no attention to this video or this theory at all if that's the case. But since, episode Prompto is a long ways. That's in May. That's like next month. So that's a way down the street. But I want to actually put in this that Versteal is Ziggurat because first of all, he looks a lot like Idolus. And the Niflheim Empire, when they turn into their demon forms, they all have color codes to them. Idolus is red. Ziggurat is blue. Ravis Ontaria, which actually is just Ontaria. I don't actually count those two as one character. Ontaria is a different character all in there. Ontaria is purple. Now, what does it say that Ontaria is purple? And Ziggurat's blue, and Theroy is red. It means that they're special high-class demons, pretty much. They're special high-class demons that are so strong that that's why they are able to lead the Niflheim Empire. Niflheim is actually a territory of human that are affected by that are infected by the Star Scourge. That's why they could turn into demons. All the civilians that live in the Niflheim territory. And if you actually look at Niflheim closely, it looks closer to the volcano on the other side of the map if you look real closely at the city of Niflheim. Because of that, if it's close to the volcano, that's where the Star Scourges happen. That means they would be the first to be affected by the Star Scourge. And for them to be affected by the Star Scourge, meaning to turn into that. Now, they'd be only ones that know their transformations and train in their transformations. That would include Arden Azunia, who is the walking Star Scourge. Idolus Outercap, the Niflheim Empire. Ziggurat. Now, Ontaria didn't come until later on. So, Ravis was still human, even with the Magitech arm. And same thing with Aranea, which in the comic book that I just made a review of, which you have to go look down there to see that this is probably the reason why Aranea probably gets along better with Ravis, because Aranea knows that Ravis is still kind of human, but she's still kind of afraid of him because in her mind she thinks that they're just like the other people, like Versteal, Arden, and Idolus. So Ravis don't turn into Ontaria until close to the end of chapter 13, so they don't count with Ravis. And Ravis technically didn't live in the Niflheim territory even after joining the army. He still lived at Tenebrae. As you see in the end scene, he goes to Tenebrae. But Tenebrae is pretty close to the Niflheim territory, so him getting to work is probably not that hard. Especially since he's High Commander, and High Commander is pretty much, they can pretty much do whatever they want because they're the favorite. But nonetheless, the only people that live in the actual Niflheim territory would be Versteal, Idolus, and Arden. Even though Arden's all over the place because he can teleport anywhere where Noctis is at because of his orb and bright powers and the fact that he can sense another Lucius Kylie, which is Noctis. He still lives there with them. And why would he do that? Because he's a living Star Scourge. He's a walking Star Scourge. Arden is 10 times more powerful in the Niflheim territory than he is in Insomnia. I'm pretty sure even with the power boost that Noctis gained, if Noctis would have went to Niflheim to challenge Arden would have been stronger on the fact that that's what the Star Scourge is most likely happened first, meaning people were already infected with the Star Scourge, transforming them into demons. Now, are you with me? Are you following me, or is this putting you to sleep? Basically, what I'm saying is, all the Theroy class demons are at least color coded, and Final Fantasy focuses on elements. Like, everything's elemental. Look at this Vincent Valentine tank top I'm wearing. He's holding fire, and he's wearing red. Pretty much, Final Fantasy puts a subliminal advertisement for elements. They do that. That's why Ferois is red, Ziggurat's blue, Onteria's purple. You see where I'm getting at with this? You see where I'm getting at this? And the reason why they're color-coded is that they're the strongest of everybody in that city. They're the strongest of everybody in that city. You've already seen Idolus's power in human form against Ravis. In fact, it was Idolus that killed Ravis. You already seen what Idolus could do as a human being with that power. And that's why Aranea left the Niflheim Empire besides them using demons. Aranea left the Niflheim Empire because she was afraid of them. She was legitimately afraid of all of them. She even thought Ravis was one of them. But then, going to Tenebrae, realizing that Ravis is still human, as you can see that human sadness that Ravis has for Luna Freya, because he was kind of harsh to his sister Luna Freya until the end of her demise, and was just harsh about everything, and that's what made Ravis change his mind about everything. So I'm guessing seeing that face that Ravis made, Aranea could form a connection because, Aranea sees that Nox Ray is still human. It's still human. It's still human. So, Ontaria is not born yet. But notice that when Ontaria is born, the second form of Ontaria is purple. And Alteria is pretty much Ravus turns into. You know, just like Idolus turns into Feralis and Versteal turns into Ziggurat. Yes, Ziggurat was a hunt only. But maybe we'll see more on episode Prompto. Maybe it's going to pump us up for episode Prompto. Maybe they'll go put a backstory on Ziggurat. That Ziggurat he probably couldn't help but transform. He probably left the Niflheim Empire after chapter 13. He probably left the Niflheim Empire in search of Noctis and stuff like that. Well, maybe not to fulfill his mission. Maybe just to survive. Maybe he knows something was about to go down, and he knows if he would have stayed, he would have got killed in the middle of the battle. So Versteal, being smart, Versteal's a smart man. He's a scientist. He's Final Fantasy 15's version of Hojo. You know, he knows. Even he carries some of his smarts in Ziggurat form. Even though Ziggurat can't talk, and the reason why Ziggurat can't talk is because, yes, he trained in Ziggurat form, but Idolus trained a lot longer in the form of Feralis. You know, so he can control himself. That's why Feralis can exhibit speech. You know, whether he dies or live. As for Ziggurat, since Versteal don't really like to transform, let's just say he don't like to transform a lot. You either stay his regular human form. You know, Ziggurat can't talk, so he sounds just like the Iron Giants and makes that, you know, one speech that you have to, you know, that Latin speech where you have to translate pretty much. But, Versteal, okay, Versteal doesn't train very much. Even though, yes, he's level 55, so he must have trained right after leaving the Niflheim territory because he wanted to save his life. Self-preservation, and then he happened to be in a hunt because people found them. Now this is why there's a lot of Ziggurats, because Versteal's so smart, he probably cloned himself. Now, maybe not in his human form, but he made clones out of his energy. So, and that's why he's a little weaker on the fact that he made 4 of them, thinking it'd overwhelm opponents. Because he's a genius. He's not really a fighter like Idolus, Ravus. Now, what could this mean? This could also predict some things in episode Prompto. Why Prompto looks serious with that coat and points a gun at some man. Meaning that man has to be Versteal. You know, because of everything Versteal did to him to make his life the way it is. Because Versteal is Prompto's father. Now, I'm going to say, may the crystal be with you. Comment on what you think of this fan theory and stuff like that. And listen to the track at the end of this video. I'm going to actually leave the track with sound so you can actually listen to it. To just listen to what happens after you defeat Ziggurat. So, may the crystal be with you. Just listen to this audio clip.